Well, as Milton made landfall in Florida, it was a dangerous Category 3 hurricane. Today, people in Florida are already trying to pick up the pieces. Major roads remain underwater. Dozens of cars were barely visible above that water earlier today, hours after the storm had already passed through. We know homes, apartments, condos, and of course, countless personal possessions were ruined. Worse yet, we know of at least 13 people that died from the storm.
And Hillsborough sheriff spotted a 14-year-old boy clinging to a broken fence in the water there. He was struggling and exhausted. The sheriff and his deputies pulled that teenager to safety, as you can see, onto their airboat. Hours earlier, they rescued more than 130 people, many disabled and elderly, from a nearby assisted living facility. Residents at the Great American Assisted Living Facility say the building flooded fast. Suddenly, they were in 4 feet of water. Members of the sheriff's office used rafts and airboats to bring everyone to safety. And those are just some of the stories of survival in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, Milton became the 3rd hurricane to hit Florida just this year. It's already becoming clear that the damage left behind will have lingering effects. Rebecca Castor was on the ground when the hurricane made landfall. She's back with us today live with the latest from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Matthew, some of the most stunning damage is actually here at the baseball stadium here in St. Petersburg. This is Tropicana Field. It is home of the Tampa Bay Rays. And you can see the stadium lights are still on, giving us a nighttime look at the roof that was partly blown off last night from Hurricane Milton's powerful winds. At the height of the storm here in St. Pete, we had wind speeds over 100 miles per hour. So that roof did not stand a chance up against those wind speeds. And now, you know, we're almost 24 hours since this storm made landfall. And while the weather has clearly moved out of here, the impacts from Milton, we're still dealing with those now. Milton is now heading out over the Atlantic after making a direct hit on Florida, leaving behind significant damage. At the height of the storm, more than 3 million customers were without power, and crews are working hard to get the lights back on. But the major concern at the moment is flooding, with multiple water rescues continuing in low-lying areas.
She's been rescued. We just did this a couple years ago, so we're kind of used to it. But I was worried about her because she has early dementia.
Winds over 100 miles an hour were reported here in St. Petersburg. The storm was so powerful, it even ripped the roof off Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. And further downtown, a construction crane collapsed, leaving a gaping hole in a luxury condo building.
It's a big concern. In Tampa here, just across the bay, we have 2 cranes, and we wanted to get them down, but there just wasn't enough time.
Multiple deaths have been reported so far, and the rescue mission is still underway. But local officials say the state largely avoided a worst-case scenario, thanks in part to one of the biggest evacuation efforts in Florida history.
It's really sped up the process for search and rescue for our fire department, which will allow us to get our residents back on island.
So the stadium was going to be used to house thousands of first responders that were on their way here to the state to help with the response. Obviously, those plans have changed now, and there was some concern that these folks were in the stadium during Milton's landfall. We can clear up that they were not inside the stadium while Milton was making its way through here, so we don't have any injuries from this shocking images behind me. Matthew, Hannah, back to you.